everyone, my name is Sarah Spears and I am just like you. I'm your normal, average 30-year-old woman, married, 3 kids, working 9 to 5, the hustle and grind. And recently, I got serious about our financial situation. You know, you buy a house, you get a car, you have kids, and all of a sudden, somewhere in between like 25 and 30, you feel like you wake up and you get hit with this like shock that, oh my God, we're in a lot of debt. Like we make decent money, we both go to work, but we have a lot of debt. And that's kind of what happened to me in November of last year. I sat down one day and I wrote down all of our debts from consumers, credit cards, student loan, car payments, and I was shocked to see that aside from our house, we were over $73,000 in debt. I was sick about it. And so I knew that my husband and we had to get serious because I do want to live a life where we don't have so much debt. So I started digging and doing research and reading blogs and watching videos, and I decided to get a plan together. And that's what I want to do, is share with you guys. So, of course, December was Christmas. We were already in the hole, so we didn't start it. But we said, come January 1st, that's our New Year's resolution. We were going to get on a plan, and we were going to stick to it, and we were just going to see what progress we made. And so I know we're in February now, but I finally was able to close out the month of January, and I'm so excited to say that what we did actually worked. We were able to pay off debt, we stuck to a budget, and it felt like the first time in years that we were actually somewhat in control of our finances. So that's what this video is going to be about today, is to share with you my plan, what we did, what worked for us. If you want to use it, take it or leave it. At this point, I just figured maybe this could help somebody. So first thing we did was we sat down and had the come to Jesus. We took a chalkboard and we wrote down every single debt that we had. And so, as you can see here, it's a lot. And that was kind of the big eye opener. And once we did that, we decided, okay, we're spending like crazy. We don't know where any of our money's going. We need to get on a plan. So I researched and I'm looking up like the easiest budgets for busy people, things you can follow. And what I came across was called a zero-based budget. And basically what you do is you take your combined income and you put it at the top, and then you start listing out your expenses, and you start with your rent or your mortgage, your necessary expenses, lights, food, water, clothing. And then you go down to more of the different types of items. Like for us, it might be extracurricular activities or pet care. We've got 3 dogs. So we listed all of our things, and then at the very bottom, we listed all of our debt payments. And so every time you list an item, you subtract from your total income, and you do that until every dollar has a category or a name, so that essentially you've lined up all of your funds for the month and you've categorized down to the penny what you are going to spend each dollar on. And so we did that, and surprisingly, just with the minimum payments, nothing extra, when we did that, we were like, we've got some money left over. Like, where is this going every month? We were like, we certainly don't feel like we've got, $1,000 left over at the end of the month, but we did. And so then what I decided was, okay, so we've done this for the month. We've got extra money. What do we do with it? How do we accelerate this to make it work for us? So I came across a strategy, and a lot of people know about it. If you've ever listened to Dave Ramsey, he talks about it, but he talks about the debt snowball. And so it's basically you list your debts from smallest to largest and all of your minimum payments. And then once you've done your monthly budget, kind of like we did, anything that is left over, you put it on top of that smallest debt. And so that was the strategy we used. So we did a zero-based budget for the month, and we had some funds left over. And so what I did was I looked at what our smallest debt was. And for us, it was my husband's loan on a shed that we had built when we just moved into our house. So we took all of the extra money and we applied it on top of that minimum payment. And what we found was like, oh my gosh, like we're going to be able to pay this off this month. So we were so excited. And so in looking at that zero-based budget, I was like, how are we going to track this every day? Like, yeah, it's easy to write things down and make a plan, but how do you actually stay on top of it? So I played around with several different budgeting apps, and I feel like a good budgeting app is going to be key for your success. And so I played around with Mint and the EveryDollar app. And so I logged in and I set up accounts for both of those, and I wanted to see which one I would like the best. Both of them link to your bank account. Both of them can categorize transactions for you. And so what I liked about Mint was that it loaded all of my accounts super easy. It loaded anything where we had loans or credit cards, but it also loaded our retirement accounts. And so it gave you like a full picture of your debt to income, what your assets looked like. But it was just a lot. It felt really busy and it kind of overwhelmed me. That's just me. If you use Mint and you love it, great. So then I tried EveryDollar. And what I liked about EveryDollar is because we were trying to do a zero-based budget, what I found that it's already set up like that. So it really made it a no-brainer for me. I was able to change the categories, I could move things around, and it just fit with what we had already written down on paper as a monthly plan. Now, the cons of EveryDollar is you can link it to your bank account, but it's very slow on loading your transactions. So normally there's like a 2-day lag between that. But that's really the only con that I could see, was that it just doesn't quite load your transaction as fast as Mint does. So fast forward, we decided to stick with the EveryDollar app. And so we set budgets for ourselves this month. And if you are a mom and you have a husband and 3 kids and 3 dogs, like who has 3 dogs and 3 kids? Me. We blow our budget on food. When I was telling you guys, when we listed everything out, we had money left over at the end of the month. What in the world? I figured out where all that money was going. Food, the drive-through, McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, like that is our love language in this house. So what I was like, guys, we got to get it together. We $73,000 in debt. We got to put a plan in place. So we decided to slash our food budget. $600 is what I gave us for the month of January. $600. And what I did was planned meals and went and bought things only for those meals. So a lot of times I would go to the grocery store and I would just be like, oh, that looks good. That looks good. Why not this? And before I knew it, I'm spending $200-$300, and I don't even know if I have stuff to make meals to cook with. So this time around, I was reading a blog, and I was looking at tips and tricks on how to budget and make your money work for you. The biggest thing was plan your meals. Plan your meals, make a menu, and then only shop for those items that you need to cook those meals. So that's what we did for the entire month of January. And guys, I am so excited to say we stayed in budget. That's right. We only spent $600 for the month, and that's feeding a family of, 5 adults and 3 dogs. And it really made such a huge difference in our budget. And that's what I want to say to you guys. You don't have to be, I would say that we are average, middle-class family, husband and wife both work. We bring home decent money. I would say probably per month we're $7,000 a month. So we're not rich by any means, but I would say we're average, right? And so just putting constraints on our food budget made such a difference. So we capped our food budget off at $600 per month, and then we also tried to live off of cash. Now, before you totally just lose it and this is ridiculous, hear me out. Living off of cash was a hassle. It was, but it kept us on track. I don't personally feel like we are disciplined enough to just say, okay, we're only going to spend $600 and that's it, and then continue to swipe our cards. Knowing me, I'm gonna have a long day at work. The kids are gonna be aggravating me. I'm be like, let's roll through Sonic. Everybody's getting corn dogs, right? But when I decided we were only spending $600 a month, I took that 600, I put it in cash, and I stuck it in an envelope. And I was like, this is it. And when I tell you, it made me think twice about every dollar I spent out of that envelope, because I knew when I got to the end that there was no more. That's it. And so I feel like setting the budget for the $600 a month, that's great. Sure, you can say, we're only gonna spend $600 a month, but what are you gonna do outside of that to keep yourself accountable and keep yourself disciplined? And for me, that was absolutely living off of cash. So those are some of the tips that we did for the month of January. We sat down, wrote down all of our debt, got our big picture focus of really how much trouble are we in, figured it out, that's $73,000. And then we said, okay, how do we fix this? Researched a budget. A monthly zero-based budget may not work for everybody. People have irregular incomes. If you're self-employed, that may look different for you. But all I'm saying here is it's worth a quick internet or Google search to figure out what's out there. So we totaled up our debt, $73,000. Researched monthly budgets, and we settled on a monthly zero-based budget. Income at the top, list all your expenses until you get to zero. Every dollar has a name. Then you need the convenience. You need to find a budgeting app. There's tons out there. Mint is a great budget. Every dollar works. That's what we settled on. And then we tracked our expenses. We set our category and we were intentional. We purposely decided to deprive ourselves of some everyday luxuries, whether that's going in the store and buying the Great Value brand toilet paper instead of Charmin, right? We did it. Anything that would count, we wanted to test it out and see, like, hey, at the end of the month, is this really gonna make a difference? Are we really gonna feel like we had extra money? Are we gonna see any momentum at all? So we followed our plan. The last piece of advice that I would give when you want to start budgeting and you want to start taking control of your money is, in addition to maybe a monthly budget that you house in an app or on your computer or in a cute journal or notebook, I would really recommend breaking that down into a weekly spending plan. Because when you look at your budget for the month, everything totals out, it looks great, but ideally, that's not how we get paid. We don't wake up at the first of the month and we have all $7,000 of our income, right? You might get paid weekly, bi-weekly, and so a huge portion of staying on track with that monthly plan, in my opinion, was I created a weekly spending plan for us. You can, again, do that on paper. If you are savvy in Excel, you can really do it in Excel, and that's what I did. And I'll actually try to link it below just as an example for you guys. But so we set our budget for the month, we knew what our categories were, and then I broke it down by a weekly spending plan. So, okay, we get paid today. Here are all the necessary bills that need to come out. This is what we're breaking down in food for the week, gas for the week, any miscellaneous or extra, and here's what we're paying on our debt. And I did that for all 5 weeks in January. And what it did was it gave me confidence. I felt like I was in control. I knew every week what we were spending. I knew what was coming out, and I could see the finish line at the end of the month that, hey, if we stay on track this week, we're going to get to next week and then we're going to pay off something else, or we're going to have extra money here or there. And it really, really made a difference. So in saying all of that, I'm going to share with you guys, January closed out, and I am so excited to say we followed our monthly budget. We followed our weekly spending plan. We didn't go over on food as hard as it was. There were some nights where I was like, I ate a peanut butter and jelly for dinner. There were some nights the kids had corn dogs or frozen chicken nuggets, but you know what? We made it work. And at the end of the month, guys, I am so excited. We paid off almost $1,800 in debt. And I'm like floored. I mean, we've never had that kind of money left over at the end of the month when we weren't tracking and we were just spending here and there and we had no idea where our money was going. We paid off over $1,800 in debt. And what that did for us, we were able to pay off the first 2 debts on our total debt board. Dun, 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 dun. So we paid off our Amazon card, we paid off our shed, and then we were able to throw additional funds at the next debt. And I can't tell you guys like how fun it was to come home at the end of the month and cross those 2 items off of our list. And I really felt proud, and I felt like we were in control and we knew what we were spending and we have a plan. And it just gave me a more positive outlook on our finances, and it showed me that when you have a budget that works for you, and I think that's the important piece. I think a lot of times we try to set up these unrealistic budgets or things that we can't stick with, that they don't fit our lifestyles, but find a budget that works for you. And what I'll say is, a budget, sure, you can make a crazy budget and cut out everything and live off of like a slice of cheese and a glass of water. That's not realistic for my family. It's not realistic for me, but I did try to discipline myself. Cutting our food budget to $600 was huge for us, and it was a big adjustment, but we did it and we didn't die, right? So it taught me a really valuable lesson. It taught me that being intentional is really going to pay off in a big way. So that's our month-end recap for January. Yay! $1,800 in debt paid off the first 2 debts on our debt board, and I can really see now I get to take those 2 payments and roll it on to the next debt. And I can kind of see, like, if I keep doing this, we're really going to have some traction. And I think it's going to be so fun to start the next month and just see just how much we can pay off or how much can we save. So those are my tips and tricks. I'm going to link everything below. I'll link the Mint and the EveryDollar app. I'll even link some like cash envelope systems for you guys if you want to give that a try. I think the discipline and the inconvenience is worth it. What else should I link? And then I'll also link my weekly spending plan. This is what I use to keep me on track and make sure that we hit every item on our monthly budget. And so I'm super excited. I want to, track this journey that we're on. I want to hold myself accountable to. And I feel like there are so many people out there right now who are going through the same thing. You go to work every day, you work hard, and yet you come home and you're like, where's our money? Or we just keep going deeper and deeper in debt. And while that may be great, and believe me, I think in today's time, like, debt is kind of like this normal thing that like we think we have to wake up and just have. But I want to see if that's something we can change. I don't want to be drowning in debt. I look at all the things that we want to be doing as a family and we can't because of debt. And it's so frustrating. Like I said, we make average money. There's no reason that we should be struggling at the end of every month feeling like we're house poor or we're car poor, or that every ounce of extra money we have is just going towards this debt. So part of me making this video is to share with somebody else, someone who maybe needs to hear that, hey, you're not alone. If you're a normal person just like me, not rich, not making a whole lot of money, got a lot of kids, a lot of dogs, and a husband, but hey, we can all come together and we can do this. And I think it's okay to say, hey, we suck at money. Maybe that's okay to say. Money is such a taboo topic. Nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to hide their debts under the rug and pretend like they've got it all together. We don't, and chances are they probably don't either. So this video and the ones that I'll make moving forward are really to hold me accountable. If I'm sharing my story with you guys, hopefully this will make me that much more committed to practicing what I preach, and that'll continue to help me make progress and pay off our debt, and our family will really see some big lifestyle changes as a result of this. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I'm not a professional YouTuber, vlogger, whatever. I'm just your average lady, a mama, a wife, and I figured I wanted to share this with you guys, and I'm hoping that we can maybe create an accountability group and help each other through this, and and see each other make progress. So thanks. Look forward to making my February video. I'll be so excited, really hoping to kick another debt off the board. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Bye.